Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an alcoholic or addict. And this is my higher power, Rocky. And I just want to tell you the experiences that I had in the rooms of AA and Narcotic Anonymous. I've learned that I'm a sick, diseased person and I'm incurable. But I've also learned that my mind is a dangerous neighborhood and I cannot trust my own thoughts. So I just took my third step and I turned my will and my life over to my higher power, Rocky. And I just got the most inspirational saying from the members of my group, and it says, "Good morning, this is God." Well, in my case, Rocky. "I will be handling all your problems today. I will not need your help, so have a good day." Isn't that just so awesome? I I don't have to make decisions for myself anymore because all my thoughts are insane. And if I ever stop going to my Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, I'm certainly going to relapse and die. Now, if you were to run into a person, say at a mall or at a store, and he says that to you, you might think that he needs to be shipped off to Ancora or Shepherd Pratt or whatever the local loony bin is to you. But these, among others, are the negative autosuggestions or affirmations or self-hypnosis, if you would like, that is taught in the rooms of 12-step meetings. There are many, many toxic slogans and sayings that are thrown around the rooms of AA and NA. They say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly, but you're still hearing those things every single day. And it doesn't matter if your prefrontal cortex, your thinking part of your mind, says, no, I'm not going to do that. But your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. Your subconscious mind hears it and it builds neural pathways, and those neural pathways get stronger and reinforced. And these are the trash, the negative reinforcements that you learn in the rooms of 12 steps and in so-called recovery therapy or recovery centers. This negative self-hypnosis, the negative affirmations that you've learned in the rooms are toxic and are leading you to become worse and worse and destroying your mood. The most important or powerful thing you can say is I am. I am is words of creation. They create your environment. Intention is everything, and your words that you speak and your thoughts create your reality. So when you say I am, you are making yourself that person. And in the rooms of 12-step meetings, you are taught to say, I am an addict or I am an alcoholic, reinforcing all the negative things and all the negative connotations that go along. So, well, you say rationally, well, this is just the way we identify ourselves in the room. It's no big deal. Your subconscious mind is building those neural pathways and reinforcing those neural pathways because your mind doesn't know the difference. So you say, oh, I am an alcoholic, I am an addict. So your brain says, okay, I'll reinforce that. Reinforce all the behaviors. And it doesn't help that a common slogan thrown around the room is one drink, one drunk. And so you go and you reinforce all these negative behaviors and say, oh, if I slip once, oh, then it's off to the races. There's nothing I can do. Where that's not true. There's tools to break out of it if you use the first use, but if you listen to the negative programming that's thrown around in the rooms, you're going to lead the relapse because there are so many negative things. And going back to the I am statement, any label that you do, this is the basis of affirmations where they teach you to go in the mirror and say 3 times every phrase that you want to affirm to yourself, and your subconscious begins to believe it. So if you say, I am a confident and a powerful person in the mirror as an affirmation, you're doing the same thing as saying, I am an addict or I am an alcoholic. You're activating the same circuits, so you're negatively reinforcing everything you don't want to be. And then there are the harmful and dangerous, in my opinion, sayings that your mind is a dangerous neighborhood. You can't trust your thinking, or your best thinking got you here. This is teaching people that they cannot ever rely on their own thoughts or their own judgment. And if you talk to any decent psychologist that isn't involved in the insanity of 12 steps, they will tell you that this is a toxic mindset. It's a toxic mindset to believe that your thinking is so bad that you can never trust your own judgment. You can work on techniques and skills to improve your judgment and improve those things in your life, but to believe that you have to forever rely on your higher power, say whether it is a rock or whatever, it's total insanity to believe that you have to forever rely on someone else's judgment because you believe that you are so diseased that you can never ever rely on your own thoughts. How toxic and how just abusive is that to throw on somebody? And then there's the saying that your best thinking got you here. Well, the 12 steppers believe that addiction is a disease. So is it your disease and the neural pathways and the things that activate it that got you there, or was it your thinking? See, your thinking, the rational mind wanted to quit and do those things that you didn't want to go out and use and do those things. But it's because you already had those neural pathways and your mind is craving all those neurotransmitters that you get when you use, like the GABA, the serotonin, the dopamine, the endorphins. Mean your mind is in a psychotic state when you're using. So it is not your best thinking. So saying it's your best thinking that gets you there is just an abusive thing to make you reliant on the 12-step groups. And then there's the toxic sayings that if you ever leave AA or if you ever stop going to Narcotics Anonymous, that you're going to relapse or die or end up in jail. This is creating dependence on a group. You're shifting one thing for the other. You're shifting your use for a dependence on a group, an outside group, or an outside higher power. You're just shifting your dependence from one thing to the other. And how toxic is that? You want to build healthy, you want to become independent and be able to create a healthy lifestyle. Do techniques, do things that create your healthy lifestyle instead of becoming dependent on the group. I mean, there's many old timers in AA that, okay, maybe they're abstinent, or the truth is a lot of AAers that proclaim time don't actually have that time, or they've done closet drinking or closet use in the background. I mean, the whole exposure of AA and what they say it is and what it actually is a whole other topic in itself. And the state of the recovery industry and how the recovery industry is 30 days of AA NA programming where they give lip service to other techniques. But if you ask them about those techniques, you ask them about smart recovery, or you ask them about SOS or Life Ring or anything, they couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about it, because these treatment centers just provide the cheapest level of care they can. And the cheapest level of care they can is get a bunch of CDACs together under a licensed psychologist and then just say, okay, we'll just throw a bunch of CDACs, which are nothing but a bunch of AA ardents just trained to be, like, run a group. And that's a whole, I could do a whole video on the dumpster fire that's the recovery industry. But I'm getting back to the negative self-programming that you do when you're in 12-step meetings, and anything that you do in general, all these self-defeating thoughts and beliefs that you're reinforcing. One drink, one drunk. I mean, if you stop going to meetings, you're going to relapse and die. These are just a few of the toxic things. And what you're doing is, by repeating and going there, whether you say it doesn't apply to me or not, you're still hearing that over and over again. It's building those neural pathways and building those negative things. So when you hear that, okay, one drink, one drunk, and your disease is a progressive disease and that you're incurable, don't believe that for a second. You can become healthy and do things to remove those thinking patterns, remove those beliefs that cause you to go out and use. To hear the programming that says that it's a progressive disease and every time you relapse you get worse and worse, all you're doing is reinforcing negative neural pathways that say, okay, I believe that, so every time I do that. And so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when you begin to become your own hypnotist and hear these negative things over and over again. If you're going to reinforce things, reinforce positive things, reinforce healthy behavior. Say, I am healthy, I am a confident person, I am doing the right things to become a healthy person and live the lifestyle that I want to live. Don't listen to the negative reinforcements, the toxic reinforcements, and don't say I am. Don't put labels on yourself that are negative and reinforce negative connotations and negative beliefs, because again, your subconscious mind does not know the difference. And to turn your will in your life over to a higher power as you understand them. I mean, how is a rock going to tell you how to run your life? This is a bait and switch tactic of the AA, where a God of your understanding becomes a God of their understanding. Because if I do my 7th step and humbly ask Rocky here to remove all my defects of character, how the hell is that going to happen? Only by switching the God of my understanding to the God of AA understanding allows me to shift that to God and let God take that over. So you're getting a bait and switch and negative self-programming technique when they say you can choose any higher power you want until you can't. So in conclusion, I urge you not to put negative labels on yourself and stop hearing and stop listening to the negative self-hypnosis and the negative programming that you're getting in the room is toxic to your mind. Choose to become healthy. Choose to become the healthy person that you want to do, and do positive techniques. Don't put toxic labels on yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know you're going to like it, and hit the subscribe button down, and I look forward to you watching my future videos. Thank you.